Hey everyone, Nightmare here. Today we're going to be trying to pick this Goal V18. We had a little mishap where we lost 2 springs, but it still has 14 active pins to pick, which is the minimum requirements for black belt, so hopefully this still counts. The pins in here that aren't active or don't even come into the keyway anyway, so hopefully it's no problem. But I'll show you that the key works. I'm not going to turn it all the way because of those 2 missing pins. Let's see if we can get it open. We're going to tension from the bottom of the keyway. We're going to go clockwise. And then we're going to pick right, top, left for rows going counterclockwise. Oops. Oops. Just trying to push the lock back in the 3D print. So my tensioners keep slipping out. There we go. It was weird. We had to bounce all the way back to this side, and there was the third pin that had to be like some crazy counter rotation and then to get it open. All right, so now you guys can see what I mean when I say we're missing 2 pins out of this, but there's still 14. And those of you that have gutted this before, you know how easy it is to lose stuff. So first, show that it is open. I don't want to rotate it past this because the pins will drop. But you can see that it is open. I can actually just turn the tailpiece. All right, let's go ahead and lock it back up. And we're just gonna push this out like this. Get this out of the way. We're gonna need 2 pinning trays for this guy. So how we're gonna do this is we're gonna put the left pins here, the top pins here, and then the right pins here. So let's start with the left. Use my Jimmy Long's gym hook to just pry this off like that. And once it's like this, you just kind of grab it like that. You see all the springs. So we will start by just kind of grabbing the springs with our fingers. And actually we want to put these back here like this. We're going to get it like this. You can see this giant spring in the front. That's one of the pins that you don't have to pick. There's just a steel ball and then a like key pin, I guess. So let's get these guys organized. Yeah, these springs are tiny and you can see how easy it is to lose them. So now you can see the drivers and then that steel ball in the front. So we're just gonna drop a pin stack at a time. I'm just gonna cover my finger like this. And then we're gonna drop it up here, like that. And this is, yeah, 7. Just repeat the process. Oops. Yeah, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. This is the steel ball, and then whatever this thing is. It like doesn't even come into the keyway. It's kind of interesting. This is my first dimple lock, so I'm kind of learning as I go. But you can kind of see, let's get a flashlight, because there's 4 of those like non-active pins at the top here. And you can see that they don't even come down into the keyway. You might be able to see that, I don't know. Kind of like right there. So I don't think having the 2 missing pins on this side will really matter. Okay, so now we're gonna do the top. Same deal. Oh, see that one spring's kind of sticking in there. Okay, there we go. See, these first 3 pins you don't even have to touch, and those are the ones we're looking at in the keyway. They basically just sit at the shear line. So let's grab our springs first. We're already throwing them everywhere. my finger a little bit. Yeah, this kick cylinder makes it super easy to progressive pin, but man, you have to watch what you're doing with these springs. Because how I did it was I was progressive pinning, and I went to grab a spring like this, and I went to stick it in, and I hit the top of another spring, and it shot both of them off into the abyss that is the carpet below my desk. I really want to look for them, but yeah, I don't have any other dimple locks to substitute. Oh. So you can see these first three are just non-interactive pins. These back three are ones I actually had to pick, and then this is a steel ball that just kind of acts as like a detent, which you also don't have to pick. So let's do the same thing. Dump it out here. That's 2. Chamber 3. Chamber 4 is the steel ball. And you can see that it has this like cup on it, on this. And it's actually on both sides. So it's kind of interesting. But that's what kind of acts as that detent. It's like a stupid claw machine. There we go. Okay, here's the actual pins that I had to pick. Oh my gosh. Last chamber on the top, 7. All right, let's go over to the last side. This is the right side. Oh, please don't shoot off. Okay, so you can see these back 2 chambers are the springs that I lost. And as such, there's nothing in them. But I'm hoping that this still counts because we still have exactly 14 active pins in here. So let's grab the springs. Those are kind of sitting below. I'm gonna have to grab these with the tweezers. See, they are facing the right way. Strap chamber 1. Strap chamber 2. Chamber 3. Chamber 4. And chamber 5. And then these are the 2 missing that we shot the springs off, so we just remove the driver and key pins from this. Let's go ahead and just move this up a little bit. And we will try to take off this C-clip without throwing everything everywhere. Oops, is this the right side? Yeah. There you go. Nice. There we go. And so you can see right here, at first I couldn't get this apart, but you have to kind of file down this ledge right here. And then the whole thing just slips out. Oops. And yeah, we have this little thing on the front. I assume it's just a little collar for anti-drill. I don't know, it doesn't hold anything together. And then as we slide this out, you can see there's two, they almost look like pins. I think they're also anti-drill, but they're just like little T-pins. If we slide this out, they're right there. So let's get this out of here. You see there's nothing crazy with this. Black body is just standard. And then these guys, they just kind of drop out one at a time. See, this is what they look like. Put these on this side. And then there's another one right here. Oops, almost dropped that. And then for the core, I got done picking the Goal Z recently, and it's very similar core, except for this one only has the overmilling instead of the counter milling as well. Let's see if I can get a light on this. You can see there is no counter milling. That little groove at the bottom is just to hold the key pins from dropping through into the keyway. And that's why when we had these pins, we didn't even see them coming through here because they just sit on that little ledge, but there is no counter milling, just the over milling. Let's go see if we can demonstrate this. Smooth. But then you got that little lip right there on all these chambers. So here's the left, here's the top, here's the right side. And yeah, this tailpiece is kind of chewed up because my 3D print was, the friction fit was too good. So I was having to pull it out of it with these pliers. Let's get a close up of the key pins. And so you can see that we have 3 pins on the bottom. These you don't have to pick, they don't even come to the keyway. Then we have 6 pins up here, which gives us 9, and then we have 5 over here, which gives us 14. And that is the Goal V18, my first dimple lock, and hopefully 4th black belt lock, if that counts without those 2. I have to find somewhere to order some springs that I can try to pick it with the full 16 that it came with. Or hell, maybe I'll try to find one more pin and make it a black belt 2 lock. For, I think 17's the cutoff for the black belt 2 lock. Why is this not going in here? Oh, there it goes. All right, put this back together on camera like we do all of our locks. I'll have to do it later anyway. It's fun to see how these go back together. This one's not too bad because it's a key knob. You can see here that there's like a little groove cut out on the top right here. And that's where this flat piece of the C-clip goes into. So we have to line that up like this. Make sure we're in the grooves. Then just use something like this. Put that on there. There we go. Sweet. Now let's just start dropping mass amounts of pins back in. Oh. not lined up for some reason. And it's because we put it in backwards. I was like, why are we not lined up? You can see we're not lined up. That's because this has to be on this side. Oops. Not the first time we made a mistake putting mocks back together on camera, but it's nice to show the authenticity and things that you need to make sure you're doing. So this goes in this way. All right, just dropping everything. All right, put this collar back on, slide this in. Now if we line it up, you can see we're actually lined up the holes. Because the way that these are set is the pins kind of go like this on the sides and the top. So you're not like, they're not directly opposing each other like this. Okay, find our flat spot, put this guy back on. There we go. Okay, so left in order. So there's one. And yeah, you can see that this passive pin will not lock up the core, and it would actually just provide like a small detent. This is where you gotta be really careful. So you don't launch any more springs. Or drop them like that. I'll take this piece, just put it over the top, put that back in like that, on to the next one. Put the springs in last for these ones because they stick out really far. So these driver pins are flush with the top of the lock body. Oops. There you go. These fat springs are the ones that go on top of the steel balls. But yeah, this was pretty fun for a first dimple lock, I guess. I'll definitely have to get some more that aren't this challenging. But I thought it'd be fun to mix it up for applying for my black belt if it wasn't just all pin tumblers. And these locks just looked cool. I just kind of picked what interests me. And yeah, that's how we had it together. Like I said, I'm honestly gonna need to get some springs for those sets of keep-ins and driver pins that we're missing, but hopefully this still counts. That is the Goal V18 picked, gutted, and reassembled with 14 pickable pin stacks. Thank you.